Hello and welcome to Who Would Win in a Fight. Tonight the big rematch is close at hand, Kovalev II. Now I don't think there was a lot of controversy about the first fight. I gave it to Ward by 1 point. I agree with all three judges. I think it was right and fair. I don't really see where a lot of people think Kovalev was robbed. I think Ward nicked it. He just did enough, but again, he did enough. So I mean, I think the point victory was sufficient. I think it was fair. Now coming to the rematch, I think, going to get straight to the point, I think Ward's going to win, and I think Ward's going to win more convincingly. Well, he didn't win convincingly the last time. I think he's going to win convincingly tonight. And the reasons why I think he's going to do this is because I think he gave away 4 of the first 5 rounds in the first fight. And I think the reason for this is it took him that long to adjust to what it was like to be in the ring with Kovalev, to be in the ring with someone who was so rangy, who's a relatively good boxer as well. Let's not forget, he's not just a knockout merchant. He has good skills. So I think it took a while for Ward just to get used to what it was like being in a position next to a guy who had such a long range on his jab, who could use the jab very well. I think once Ward got used to that, and once Ward realised that he wasn't going to be able to take on Kovalev from the outside, that he'd have to go in, he'd have to get a bit messy, he'd have to do a lot of infighting. I think once he had that figured out, I think he made the adjustment, and I think he won the latter part of the fight. And I think he maybe squeaked round 6 as well. So for that reason alone, I'm going to give it to Ward. Hopefully everything Kovalev says about his conditioning and his training camp will prevail and there'll be no excuses. As a fighter, I like Kovalev. As a person, he always comes across, he seems quite amicable. I think he does try to push the crusher persona maybe a little bit too much. I think underneath the talk there's a nice guy. But again, I just see this one playing out entirely in Ward's favour. I think also in his favour is going to be the fact that he's got Hunter in his corner. We all know the issues that Kovalev had with Jackson, and there was talk of him leaving the camp. That can't help. I can't see what Kovalev is going to bring to the table that's going to be different from the first fight. He fights one way, it's a good way, it's got him to where he is now. I'm not going to fault him on that. I can't see what he's going to do differently. And in fairness, I think there's too much made of the tactical adjustments Ward can make. Yeah, he can make them. But I think the biggest adjustment he had to make, he made 4 or 5 rounds in the first fight. And I don't think he's going to stray too far away from that game plan. So some people are predicting maybe a late stoppage by Ward. I don't see that. He hasn't been able to stop top quality. When it comes down to it, he wasn't able to stop Froch, albeit Froch is one of the greatest chins in boxing history. He wasn't able to stop Abraham. Okay, he stopped Kester, but there's other issues involved in terms of cuts. So again, I will put my neck in the block and I will say it's going to be a points victory for Ward, and I will say he will probably do it by 2 or 3 rounds. For Kovalev to win, I think he's going to have to stop Ward, and Ward's got a good chin. Okay, he knocked down Ward in the first fight, but Ward wasn't hurt. He wasn't shaken. And again, I think too much is made of the fact that, he was hurt and he was stung. No, it was a legitimate knockdown, no argument there, but Ward wasn't hurt at all. So again, from who would win in a fight, I'm going to give this one to Ward by 2 or 3 rounds. Alright, so check out the video tomorrow and see how close I am or how far away I am from my prediction. Alright, until next time, goodbye.